It is the sign that it is time for my arranged marriage.
Oh, well, congratulations.
No, don't you know what it means?
Not really.
Oh, I cannot get married. I'm just beginning to enjoy my bachelorhood. What am I going to do?
Tell her the truth. You're not ready to get married.
No.
Then just tell her you're already married.
No, I cannot lie to my mother.
Then get married. What the hell do you want from me?
Oh, I'm afraid this is all my fault, Manjula. To be perfectly honest with you, I have not exactly been looking forward to this arranged marriage.
Nor have I. Marrying a complete stranger? It is crazy.
He put all of the family in the plane. We arrive in Pakistan. All of a sudden, these closed door meetings started beginning, and I had no clue what was going on. And my dad knew that I was against this marriage, and I probably will create some issues or problems for him, or would probably rebel. So one morning I woke up, and actually my sister came to wake me up, and I won't wake up. And she kept on saying, wake up, and I wanted to sleep in, and it was only our 5th day in Pakistan. And then she tells me, you gotta get up. And then I hear my dad and my mom come into the room, and they said, get up, today is your nikah.
At that point, my family pretty much house arrested me and kept me at home. I couldn't go anywhere. I had to quit my job. I had to quit school, and was forced to go to Pakistan to marry this individual that I had absolutely nothing in common with. I didn't know him. To where I was told if I did anything to jeopardize anything in Pakistan, they would leave me there. And growing up here, my home, it wasn't something that I wanted, so I abided by the rules I was given. And at that time, they did my nikah, which is a Muslim way of getting married, the Islamic way.
So one distinction that I would like to make is between arranged marriages and forced marriages. So arranged marriages, come in all varieties, so they could be completely consensual. And there's, no abuse or exploitation going on in arranged marriage. It's a very common practice in the region. However, forced marriage, of course, is on some level lack of consent, potential violence, exploitation situation. So that distinction is definitely important.
And I was just in a shock, like I got out of bed and I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, today both of you sisters, going to be signing your marriage papers, and your nikah will be performed today. And I started crying, and I begged my father and I begged my mother, and I said, I don't want to do this. I touched their feet and cried and cried and cried. And my parents won't listen to me, and they said, no, today is the day you get married. And my dad looked at me and he said, it's too late, people are already coming, and you need to get up and get ready. Well, I had taken, when I left the United States, I had taken some pills, sleeping pills, because I knew if they forced me to get married to this person in Pakistan, I will take those and kill myself. So, and my older sister kind of knew what was going on, so when they pushed me into the shower to get ready, she followed me, and she saw the pills in my hands, and she took the bottle from me, and she threw the pills away. So I do remember one of my cousins walking in and fighting with my dad over it, and he said, how can you do this to your daughter? Have you looked at the people that just came, that you're getting your daughter married into that family? I would never do that to my kid. Why are you doing that? So my father said, you know what? It's already done. It's going to have to happen. I didn't want to sign the papers. My dad stood in that room. They forced me, and then when I refused to sign it, they held my hand and they signed the papers for me. I was crying a lot. I didn't want to deal with the world. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to kill myself. So one day I had some glass bracelets, so I just crushed them up and I just ate them. So I thought that might kill me, but I started throwing up some blood, and that was the end of it, and nothing happened. And I was seen off to this guy, and that's when the actual ceremony happened.
Now we're gonna take you to Pakistan and you're going to marry this person. Doesn't matter you like it or you don't, you're gonna do this. During this time, I'm not allowed to sleep by myself. I can't leave the house by myself. My mom sleeps in the same room as me, afraid that I'm going to leave. I've no choice but be forced to go to Pakistan and officially marry this individual that's a stranger to me. And I was told that if I did anything to say anything to him, to his family or anything, that I would be forced to stay in Pakistan. That's their home, it's not my home, and I wanted to come back home. So I abided by their rules. I didn't say anything, and knowing that this is not what I want to do, I did it. Came back here, and this man came home with us. It was a nightmare. We stayed at my parents' house, and he wasn't what they expected him to be. You know, he forced himself on me. Parents knew about it, didn't do anything about it. I wanted to get out of this marriage, and it's sad, but my entire family, from sisters to aunts and uncles and everyone, would have these family gatherings and try to convince me that this is the right thing to do.
Based on a survey from Tahiri Justice Center in 2011, reported cases of forced marriage was about 3,000. There are many other cases which were never reported.
I saw him the very first time when he came into my room. I told him I had to tell him something, and I told him that I don't like him. I don't want to get married to him. I just want him to leave me alone. And he told me that, well, part of the reason his family wanted me to marry him is so he can go to USA.
There is internal, external, and religious and civil, so many kinds of wars are happening in so many parts of the world. Sometimes the only way for the whole family to leave is have one of the child forced into a marriage so that child can become anchor and bring the family to a safe place. I'm pretty certain when you are a parent of someone, you don't want your child to go through pain. But sometimes we don't even think of our kids. We think how I'm preserving the culture. Sometimes parents have good intentions. They want their kids and grandkids to have that culture, that life which they think is right, so that my daughter is not Americanized. How do I control her? Traditionally, many a times, American women are considered to be loose women, whatever that means. When your daughter starts becoming the loose women, which is also known as American women, you want to control her. When you start controlling into that manner, you need an intimate relationship to hold that together. And that generally is a husband.
Dad was really mad. My dad took off and he was going to kill himself over what I've done to him. And they locked me up in a room. I was locked in that room from the time that I got to the city until the next morning. The next morning, his family came. They put me in a car and they sent me back to his house. And they said, from now on, I'm just dead for my parents. And they gave all my passports, my visa, my ticket, everything to his family. And they said that now I'm all theirs and they can do whatever they want to do with me. So I can come back to USA. I came back about a month later. About a year later, he showed up. I've been married to him for past 27 plus years. I have 4 kids with him. Our relationship it's more like you're spending your time together but not your life together.
Those were the probably toughest years of my life. It was probably a few years that I stuck there. Finally, this person moved out of my parents' house, and I've always felt in the back of my mind that he's gonna come back and I'm gonna be forced to be with him again. And I didn't want to live like that, because I saw it in many people's lives. Sometimes it doesn't work out. And it's great for people that it does work out for. I decided that I was going to move out. I got an apartment. I had a good job, so I wasn't worried about finances. One day I just decided that I'm going to leave. It was something that I had to have a lot of strength in, because I knew I was going to be walking away from my entire family. Not just my immediate family, my mom and my dad, but I couldn't talk to my sisters, my nieces and my nephews, cousins, and the way the family goes. If you do something that out of reach, just know that you're going to be cut off from the entire family. And that's kind of what happened.
People wants to control that within the same caste system, within the same community, their daughters or sons get married, because a lot of times it's property, a lot of time it's money, a lot of time it's caste, a lot of time it's religion.
We don't like the same thing. I am very ambitious. I wanted life in a certain way, and to him, he doesn't want the same things I want. And I understand not every marriage is perfect, but at some point you find common grounds to spend your times together. And the part of all of this that bothers me the most, that because of my parents, I was forced into this marriage. When he came to USA, there were times that I wanted to leave him. Then again, the pressure from my family kept me in this marriage.
I, slowly but surely, little by little, my nieces and, they would call me without anyone finding out, and my sisters here and there. And then, maybe a year later, I met this incredible man. We dated for a while. He asked me to marry him. I couldn't have asked for somebody that great to come into my life. And my dad, to this day, still doesn't speak to me. It's a pride thing, it's a family thing. But you know what? I wouldn't change this for the world. Because of the step that I took to make sure that I ended up, at the end, I needed to worry about my happiness. I moved out, and then again, I wouldn't change it. I have an incredible husband. I have 2 beautiful boys. I have in-laws that absolutely adore me. It still bothers that I have family members who will always look at me in a way that I took this step, but at the end of the day, it's my life, and I needed the strength to walk away from family and friends and make my own life that I was happy with.
Our parents don't realize that it's just not about him and me anymore, it's about my kids. What I learned from my experience is that one thing, that my kids are going to have full freedom in choosing their life partner. So my advice to anyone in a forced marriage is to get out as soon as you can.
We personally met after 10 years of long arranged marriage and correspondence and telephone talk, but finally got to see each other in person in 1987. After a long period of verbal and phonic conversations without ever seeing each other in person.
We met on the wedding day.
But arranged marriage is not like that. Just like a prudent person buys a home or jewelry or 401k plan with some consultation, arranged marriage is the same way. It's arranged in a way to let 2 compatible people meet together after the elders or family friends have scanned a group of people and let them finally make their own choice after having been introduced to each other. Favorite part?
Having you guys, my 4 kids, that was the best thing in my marriage.
And having a beautiful wife,